Barakim Habarim. Welcome to Messianic Moment Ministry. I'm Stephen Bruck. You know who you are, and today is the 7th day of May, 2026. I've seen many posts where there's an image of God or Yeshua, and I pointed out that's not really allowed. And sometimes I get a response that, no, this is acceptable. It's church art. So, hey, let me ask you, is church art different from images? And we're going to get to that in just a second. But first, let's do the admin stuff. All right, so skip over this. If you've already subscribed, if you haven't subscribed, please do so here on YouTube. Subscribe. Click the little bell so you get notified. Go back to messianicmoment.com and subscribe there also, because they're different lists and sometimes I don't actually make a video. Also, please like my Facebook page called Messianic Moment and join my Facebook group. It's called Just God's Word. And hey, if you like what you get here, you're going to love my books. There are 5 of them out there for you. You can get them through links on the website. That's messianicmoment.com. Or go to amazon.com. Put Stephen R. Bruck in the search field, and boom, there they are. One last thing, and this is important, please share these messages with everyone you know. All right, so I think the best way to settle this is let's look at the second commandment and see what God says. And this is from the Complete Jewish Bible. You are not to make for yourselves a carved image or any kind of representation of anything in heaven above, on the earth beneath, or in the water below the shoreline. Let's close the window. Sorry, had to close the window. I don't know about you, but this seems pretty clear to me. Yet even within Judaism, which does not make any three-dimensional images, ever, statues or busts, that is, two-dimensional images of biblical scenes, animals, and even biblical persons such as Moses, well, they have been seen in synagogues as far back as the 3rd century AD. Now, the second commandment does go a little further. Of course, it says that we should not bow down to or pray to these images, which is never done in Judaism. But I regret to say, in most any Catholic church that I have ever been in, and I've been in a lot of them, I've got Catholic friends, and I've been traveling to many countries and throughout the USA, I see a lot of three-dimensional images, and I see people bowing down and praying to them. Now, when I've asked, I've been told, no, they aren't really praying to them. No, they're asking them to intercede with Jesus so he will intercede with God. You know, funny, doesn't the Catholic Church pretty much say Jesus is God? So why would you have to intercede with yourself? And Jesus said that the only way to the Father is through him. That's John 14:6. So again, if the only way to God is through Jesus, who is God, then why would you go to a saint? It doesn't make any sense. And you know what? When you're praying, isn't that asking for something? So if you're asking for something, aren't you praying? You know, I have no definitive answer, other than the safest thing to do is just not make any images of anything, ever. That way there can't be confusion. But, you know, on the other hand, people learn from 3 different types of input: visual, and 65% of the people learn that way; oral, 30% of the people learn best that way; and tactile, touchy, and only 5% of the people learn that way. So since the vast majority of people learn through a visual stimulation, then, you know, to help get the word out, it just seems to make sense that maybe some sort of artwork would be helpful. You know, personally, I believe that 100% of the people learn best by doing. Yeah, I doubt that we will never be without some form of artwork. It's relating to a religion. It's always going to be there. So maybe we can just kind of settle with church art should be restricted to biblical scenes that allow for the representation of animals or background and people who are involved in an activity that's spoken about in the Bible. But absolutely no images of any kind of God or Messiah. Images showing what the idols of pagan religions look like as part of a learning experience, I think that's okay, as long as it's just that. You know, you're learning to see what these idols look like to teach us how to recognize them. What do you think? I'd like to know your opinion on this. Well, that's it for this week. So thank you for being here. Please comment and share these messages with everyone you know, even non-believers. Hey, after all, you never know how fertile the soil is until you plant a seed in it. That's it for this week. So, be throat, and let me wish you an early Shabbat Shalom.